Two of you! Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat, and I'm sorry if it's super awkward and weird because this is my first time trying to hold eye contact with you guys and talk to a camera, so I gotta get used to that. But anyways, I'm super excited to finally be making my first YouTube video for this channel. I have been asking people in my personal life, you know, what kinds of stuff they want to see. Because that's my goal with this channel, is to have fun and inspire people and be helpful. Anyway, I just recently started doing like full face makeup. I used to just do some stuff on my eyes and that was kind of it. So it's been about 6 months now that I've been trying new products and learning new techniques. I've found things that worked better for me than other things, and I just want to give advice to people that are kind of in the same zone, on the same level as me. Like, I think I have the potential to develop good skills in makeup, and I think most people do. That's the thing. I don't think that most people realize how easy it is if you understand what you're doing and you don't like get yourself super intimidated about it, you know? I'm not Laura Lee. I'm not Nikki Tutorials. I'm not Jaclyn Hill. I'm not Jordy from It's Likely Makeup. Like, I love those girls. I wish I was that good at makeup, but let me tell you, I'm not. This takes time, and it takes a lot of effort and a lot of learning and a lot of patience and not getting mad at yourself if you mess up, letting yourself mess up, sometimes embracing your mistakes, and yeah. Anyways, so my goal with this channel is going to be to show people that you don't have to go to cosmetology or beauty school, and you don't have to spend, you know, millions of dollars to look put together and look like you know what you're doing, you know? So, one of the most highly requested things that people in my personal life asked me to do a video about was, like, what all do you need to get started? What advice would I give beginners about what all products, what all kinds of things do they need to be able to do full face makeup like what I'm wearing now? Give them a list. Go to the store. What all do I need to buy to do that? So that's kind of what I'm going to do with this video today. Yeah, so I guess we'll just dive right in. So I think I'm just going to show you in order of the way I do my makeup, like, so that I don't forget things to show you, I guess. So the very first thing I always do is my eyebrows. My boys. I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. 2 oldest are boys, the youngest is a girl. My 2 boys are up in their bedroom right now. They're supposed to be cleaning, but it sounds like they're being crazy. So if you hear them in the background, I'm sorry. Anyways, so the very first thing I do is my eyebrows. Now, there's a bunch of different ways you can do your brows. Really, you just have to find your preference, what works best for you, what kind of product. There's pencils, you could just use a powder, there's like a pomade, which is not a gel, but, you know, it comes in a little, like, canister type container, a little pot type thing, I don't know. Anyways, several different kinds of brow products you can use. I want to venture out and get more eventually, but right now I pretty much use pencils, and I have this tiny little guy that is about on its last leg because I've been using it for 6 months now in rotation with other things. This is just the Rimmel London. It's the name is rubbed off and mostly sharpened off because I've used it so much. But I'm pretty sure it's just called like the Professional Brow Pencil in dark brown. It is this. It comes with the cap. Has this little brushy type thing on it. You need either this, which honestly this isn't. This part, I like the pencil, but this part of it isn't super awesome. for what it's intended for. A spoolie ultimately is what's best, which a spoolie you'll see if you go to the makeup section at any drugstore like Walmart or anything. They have like part of the makeup section that's just tools, you know. You'll have like eyelash curlers, tweezers, you know, that kind of thing, like blackhead extractors and all that in that section, or in with the brushes, because it could be those are kind of together sometimes. I don't know. Anyways, spoolies kind of look like the end of a little mascara wand, so they kind of look like this, but it's more of like a brush, like bristles, like this. You know what I mean? That's optimal. Anyways, you can make this work. Obviously this is to shape them, fill them in, make them more solid, get more of like a defined, you know, arch tip. The brush part or the spoolie is if you want like the gradient effect that I have at the beginnings of my brows a little bit. You can just kind of remove a little bit of the product and blend it in. That way it's not such a harsh edge. So yeah, brow products, number 1. Number 2 would be either, well, it's something to essentially give your eyeshadows a base, an eyeshadow base. You can use, like, they have actual eyeshadow primer that you can buy. Several different brands have them pretty much everywhere. I've honestly never tried one. I want to. I'm sure they're better than what I use, but I can't give you my opinion on them. I've heard wonderful things about them, but I've never used one. I usually use either a concealer or like a white or a light colored pencil of some sort, like an eyeliner or something like that. I'm not going to talk about concealer just yet because that is more so later, but anyways, you need some kind of eyeshadow base, whether it be concealer, eyeshadow primer, or pencil, something to put down under your eyeshadow, because you can put down eyeshadow and it'll show up, but it'll be a lot more pigmented and it won't crease as much and it will just stay. And if you give it something to stick to, it'll stay for most of the day, especially if you have hooded eyes like I do. Like if I just look straight on and I don't raise my eyebrows at all, you can see that I have, like, in my crease, this part kind of comes down a whole lot, and if you want to see my whole eyelid, I have to, you know, like, raise my eyebrows and whatever. So if you're like me and your eyes tend to crease a lot, some sort of base helps with that so much more than you would think. So eyeshadow base. That brings us to eyeshadow, which is one of my very favorite parts of makeup. Eyeshadow and lipstick are my 2 biggest obsessions, but eyeshadow is a huge part of it, especially if you're like me and you like to change up your look one day. Like, I have such an eclectic style. I mean, if you guys can't tell, you probably, I don't know, the lighting's really crappy, so you probably can't even tell, but this dress that I'm wearing is like this pastel pink, like, lace overlay kind of dress, and my hair is curled, and I have, like, glam makeup going on. Tomorrow, in my next video, I mean, I'll probably be wearing, like, a band t-shirt and have a bunch of black lipstick on. Like, I change it up all the time, and it's fun because I'm like an artsy-fartsy weirdo and I love it. But anyway, my best advice for eyeshadow, just so that you have options with what you can do, so that you can change up your look from day to day, even if it's just a little bit, is I would say invest in a good sized neutral palette and a good sized colorful palette. So I will show you examples now. My favorite neutral palette is this. It's the Neutral Eyes 28 color eyeshadow palette. It's by BH Cosmetics. BH Cosmetics is amazing in my experience so far. I've only had like a handful of their products that I've tried so far, but I love all of them, and they're so insanely affordable. They're close to high-end quality They're not necessarily right there with all of it, but they're really, 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 really close. And they're like drugstore prices almost. I'm pretty sure they're considered a drugstore brand, but I don't know. They're not really sold in stores as far as I know. I think they might be sold at Ulta now, actually. But they're not at Sephora. I just get my stuff online and from bhcosmetics.com, from their website. It's awesome. Their shipping's really great. This is obviously not sponsored. This is my first video ever. BH Cosmetics, those people have no idea that I exist. So this is just my honest opinion. Anyway, so here is your neutrals palette. This one, let me open it up. It's loved, so it's dirty. She's seen better days, y'all. But this one has a lot of really nice transition shades. So like the things you'll put down first, usually. I mean, obviously depending on your look, but you know, in your crease or wherever. But all these like light, like tannish colors, those are really good transition shades. And then it has a lot of the darker colors that you can put down, you know, to deepen your crease or in the outer corners or whatever. There's any neutral shades that you may need, that you will need, you absolutely need. I would start off with this. A neutral palette was the first palette I bought because I was like, I'm not going to go in with blue eyeshadow and have nothing to like blend that with. You know what I mean? To make it have that gradient and make it look nice and obviously not natural, but like well applied. So neutral eyeshadow palette, absolute must have. So there's that. The second eyeshadow palette that I think is absolutely a necessity, like I said, is a decent sized colorful palette. My favorite one is also by BH Cosmetics. It's the Take Me to Brazil palette. This one has 30 colors in it. It's also very well loved. This is what the inside looks like. And as you can see, there's a very good range of colors. You have pinks and reds and oranges and yellows. There's like a coppery color down here. There's some greens and yellows, some blues, some purples, and then you have a big pan of white and a big pan of black. There's so much you can do with this palette. This palette I use most days. Like, not today. I have a very neutral colored look going on, but if I want to pop a color, this baby's my go-to. This palette was only $17.99, I believe, somewhere $17, $18 on their website, and it has 30 colors in it. So anyway, so you need neutral palette, colorful palette, two must-haves. If you want to go somewhere in the middle, you can look for a palette that has like fewer bright colors and fewer neutrals and has both. One that I have that I love is this beautiful baby. It's the Pirates of the Caribbean palette that Lorac Los Angeles did. It's so good. It has these colors in it. So it has a pretty good amount of transition shades, a good handful. I mean, it only has a couple colorfuls. It has like a green, like a reddish color, and like a blue. Most of the other ones are neutral colors. But there's a lot. There's gray transition shades. My favorite gray transition shade ever actually is in it. It's this color right here called Silent Mary. Anyways, this palette is a $52 palette. This is another one that I was given by an absolutely amazing friend that knows I have been dreaming of trying to get this channel started forever and just sends me makeup sometimes, and she will never know how appreciative I am of her, and I know she has already subscribed to my channel even though I don't have any videos up, and I'm not gonna like call you out in front of everybody you know so the people don't bitch at you. I'm sorry, so the people don't yell at you about not giving them makeup, but I can't thank you enough. You're amazing. Thank you. Just thank you. But anyways, I had to give you a shout out in my first video. But yeah, this palette is wonderful. This is a very good one for if you don't want to buy like a big neutrals or a big colorful palette. That one kind of has a little bit of both. Find either 2 palettes or 1 palette that has both. You need both. So yeah, that was a lot of rambling about eyeshadow, and I'm sorry. Anyway, let's continue on to more eye products. Very, very important part of my makeup wardrobe is eyeliner. Eyeliner is not necessarily one of my favorite parts, but it is absolutely vital. I wear a wing almost every single day. If you hear my daughter crying at all too, she's out there with her dad. She is mad that I have the door closed and she can't get to me right now. She's with her dad. We're not ignoring her. Don't yell at me. She's a drama queen. Anyways. Okay, so I was talking about eyeliner. For my wing, my favorite eyeliner ever to do a wing with is the Kat Von D inked, or ink liner, not inked, ink liner, the Kat Von D ink liner. I don't have one to show you right now because I'm out of it and it makes me so sad, but it's my favorite. I need to get more. I do have one of the mini tattoo liners, so that's what that looks like. The difference in the tattoo and the ink, the tip on this one, the tattoo one, is this one is actually like bristles. It's a brush. You can't really even see unless I separate it, and that pains me to do. So we're gonna put it back and fix it. But anyways, this one is very to a point, but it is a brush. But the ink liner it's like a felt tip. It's a very precise felt tip, and I love doing that one for the actual wing. That's my favorite. However, that is a $20 eyeliner, and while I think it's absolutely worth it because it stays where you want it to pretty much all day, right now I can't afford to go buy a new one, and I know a lot of people watching these videos aren't going to be able to run to Sephora and spend $200 every time they're out of all of their makeup. So I have this. Is by e.l.f. It is the Expert Liquid Liner is what that's called. The tip on this one is a brush as well. It's quite a bit more flexible and it's thinner than the Kat Von D one. Like, it's very, very easy to just it moves easily is what I'm saying. They're good. For as cheap as they are, they're good. The e.l.f. is what I have on right now. It's very black, very pigmented. It does go on easily. I definitely recommend it. Is it my favorite? No. It's a little bit runny. I have pretty sensitive eyes, and sometimes like my eyes randomly just start watering, and if that happens while I'm working on my makeup and it gets in my tear duct and gets into my eyeball, it burns, and that stinks, and that's the downside to it being such a viscous, liquidy formula. But, I mean, it's not intended to go in your eyeball, so for what it is, for its purpose, I definitely recommend that. Also on e.l.f. is mascara. Now, this is a sad looking little mascara tube, you guys. Like, look. The actual cap that was on this part, like, this is the wand, but the cap part that was on it broke off. One of my kids broke it. I don't know what happened to it, but that's that. This is, I'm not sure what the name of this particular mascara is. I think it's the only e.l.f. mascara that comes in a white tube, and mine is dirty because it has other makeup on it, but that's what it looks like. It's a $2 mascara, and I absolutely love it. I adore it. Mascara is absolutely vital. Now, on eyelashes, there are awesome brands that make false lashes out there. Black Magic Lashes makes amazing ones. House of Lashes, like, there's a million, you know, expensive high-end brands. There are plenty of drugstore brands that make good false lashes as well. Kiss makes like fake fingernails and eyelashes and I think brushes and various beauty products. I love their lashes. Those lashes are like $6 to $8 a pair, I think, but they have a pretty thick band. You can definitely get a few uses out of them if you take care of them. They're obviously only good for a few uses, but also there are these ones, which I only have one pair left, but these are the Salon Perfect. It was, I think, around $8 for this package as well, and there were 5 pairs of lashes in here for $8. These ones, I don't know if you'll be able to see them or not, are pretty natural looking. They're definitely not super thick, but they add a lot of length, and the band, it has an invisible band, so they look super duper natural when you put them on. You can get them really close to the lash line and you can't see the band at all. I love them. I like them a lot, and 5 pairs of lashes for $8, not bad, especially when you can use those pairs. I wouldn't use more than like twice, just because they have such a thin band that it's hard to like maintain them to get more than that out of it. But they're good for, I mean, for $8, they're not bad. I like them. So lashes definitely aren't like a must-have. If you're not a lash girl, don't wear lashes. Rock your natural lashes, throw on a couple coats of mascara, you're good to go. You know, you don't have to go buy lashes because people on YouTube wear lashes. But if you love them, I love them. I wear them a lot, just not all the time. There you go, lashes. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need for your eyes. So I guess we will move on to the face. The first obvious thing you're going to need for your face is foundation. I will tell you straight up that this is something I am still learning a lot about. I can get my foundation. I've learned a lot about my foundation. My foundation looks a heck of a lot better now than it did 6 months ago when I first started putting it on, but I'm still learning techniques. I'm still trying new products. I'm still figuring out what works best with my skin type, so I'm not going to be the person yet to tell you, like, if you have this skin type, you need this foundation. You know, if you have this issue with your mascara or your foundation, this is going to fix it. Like, I definitely have information on a little bit of all of that. I don't know everything about foundation yet, and that's kind of the thing. If you start watching my videos now as a beginner, I'm hoping that you guys can kind of watch them all and like catch up to where I'm at, if that makes sense, and hopefully doesn't sound super shitty. But then, you know, we can learn together. I can be like, guys, look, I tried this, it worked, woohoo. I don't know. Anyways, the point is, I don't know everything about foundation. I haven't tried all the foundations that there are out there. I have yet to try a high-end foundation. I desperately want to, but my wallet doesn't want me to, so I haven't yet. So that being said, I have 2 drugstore foundations that I want to talk about that I get at Walmart. The first is by CoverGirl. It's the Clean Normal Skin. It looks like this. The shade is 105 Ivory, my shade. This is a very light coverage foundation. If you want like cake, this is not going to be your stuff. You're not going to like this. That's what I have on today. I have the CoverGirl foundation on today because it's so, I don't want to say watery, but it's very thin and viscous, and I don't know, watery and runny make it sound bad, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but they're very liquidy. Because of that, if you have like dark spots, or you know, you really hate your freckles and want to cover them, or you have like acne, scarring, or whatever your issues are, if you feel like you need or you want a very full coverage foundation, this isn't going to be your stuff. I'm fortunate enough that really I have very red skin. I have patchy, I get a lot of redness around my nostrils, a little bit on my cheeks, around my eyebrows, on my forehead, my chin. So really my purpose for foundation, why I need it personally, is just to even everything out, make it all one tone. I don't have a whole lot of acne or acne scarring. I don't really have dark spots. I have freckles, but they're not very dark, and I don't dislike them, so I don't have a lot of those issues. I'm very fortunate in that. Yeah, anyways. I do have a lot of redness, and this does work wonders for that. Because it's so thin, if you have a lot of redness, like if you have rosacea or something, you would probably need to apply more than one coat. I have 2 coats on right now. I put down a very, very thin layer, blend it out, and then kind of add more where I need it, because I don't want to always wear like a heavy layer of foundation. That's the thing. The days that I don't feel like feeling that I have foundation on, I wear this. It's very, very wearable. I love it for what it is. So there's that. However, on the other hand, if you do like or want or need a more full coverage foundation, I highly recommend Glamoflage by, see if I can hold this to where you can see it. Glamoflage by Hard Candy. This is also sold at Walmart. The shade that I have is 931. It's fair. This one comes with a little pump. I'm not going to pump it out and waste it, but I pump it on the back of my hand and then dot it around and put it on. This stuff is really, really, really full coverage for the price. I'm pretty positive this is only $6 for one this size. How many ounces is this? This is 1.1 fluid ounce, which most makeup comes around an ounce. The CoverGirl one is exactly an ounce, so this is like the tiniest bit more foundation. So yeah, I think for that price, for the quality of it, for the coverage of it, it's absolutely amazing. They have a whole bunch of shades. It's great. This goes such a long way. This is a new bottle. This is the one that I've been using. This and this. These are the only 2 foundations I've used for the past 6 months. And I'm just now running out of this one and had to go buy a backup for when I do run out. It goes such a long way. It's wonderful. It's great. I love it so much. Highly recommend. I just realized that I forgot to tell you the step before foundation. Before you put down foundation, you need primer. Not everybody uses primer. You don't have to use primer, but it helps. For me, my main purpose is to fill in my pores. I have very big, open, large and in charge pores. They're not cute. So I use, also by Hard Candy, this Sheer Envy Pore Defense primer serum. It's blue. It also has a little pump. It feels wonderful. It's oil-free, silicone-free, alcohol-free. This is 1.5 ounces and is also somewhere around 6 or 8. I don't remember if it's 6 or 8, but somewhere in that range. And it's pretty good. I don't think it's like the most amazing pore filling primer out there by any means, probably, but for what you can go to Walmart and spend, you know, $6 to $8 on, it's pretty good. I do notice a difference. It doesn't necessarily shrink my pores, but I feel like it keeps my makeup from settling into them, and it makes it so that they're not like as in your face. So I like that. Another good primer that I have tried that I'm also almost out of is, this is a sample size, it's usually bigger than this, but the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. This is not intended for like people that have big pores like me. It's just an in general primer. They do make one that's 4 pores that I want to try, and I haven't tried yet, but this one is really good. The full size tube of that Smashbox primer is $32. It's expensive. That's why I don't have it right now, but it's great. If you can afford it, that stuff is a really good, like, all over primer. The next thing that you need is concealer. Concealer is used for covering like pimples and things that you need more coverage, like heavy duty coverage, but you don't want to use 5 pounds of foundation on your face. Put a little bit of concealer on it. It tends to be a little bit more like heavy duty, you know what I mean? It's also for like brightening the dark spots on your face, or the parts that come out more where the light hits you. It helps with highlighting later on. It's the important stuff. My favorite concealer is a high-end one. I'm out of it right now, so I don't have it to show you, but I'll put a picture. It's the Shape Tape by Tarte. Tarte Shape Tape. It's amazing. It smells like perfume. It's wonderful. It's very high coverage. It's a very comfortable, wearable formula. Like, for as high coverage as it is, you would think it would be like thicker and pastier than it is, but oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. It's my favorite. But it's $32 and I'm out of it, and I don't have it right now. For $6, you can go to Walmart and buy another hard candy product, and it is the Glamoflage. It's also called that, as well as the foundation. It's heavy duty concealer. This is what I have on my face right now. I have the shade Light on. You put this like under your eyes to hide bags and dark circles. I put a little bit on my chin just to brighten it up, because you know that's kind of like a high point. It's where the sun hits your face. I put a little bit down the bridge of my nose, underneath my cheekbones, under my contour, and then wherever I need extra coverage. This stuff, the Glamoflage Hard Candy Concealer, is very thick. I definitely never put this like straight on my face. I squeeze a little bit out on the back of my hand, dab it with my finger, kind of put it where I want it, and then blend it out. If you put it straight on your face, it's really easy to accidentally put way too much in a small area, and because it's so thick and full coverage, you just don't need that much anywhere, which is awesome, because again, I think that's $6, somewhere around there at Walmart at least. So it's not that expensive, and it goes a really, really long way. This will last months. Well, for me at least. So yeah, there's your basic face products. Now the next thing is super important to me. It's beauty blenders. They look like this. These both are from Pure Cosmetics, P-U-R. I've used this one enough that you can barely see the logo, but you still can on these. These ones are $12 a piece. You can get a 3-pack for $36, I think. A friend, again, that same friend gave me these. They are pretty wonderful, I have to say. I love them. They're really good quality. They're very durable. They've stood up really well so far. They're easy to clean, which means you can use them longer and not have to replace them is awesome. I love them. But a cheaper brand that I also very much enjoy is Real Techniques. They make orange ones of these. They sell them at Walmart. You can get a single one for like $5, and then you can get a 2-pack, and I've never bought the 2-pack. I want to say it's right around 10, or maybe a little bit less than 10. I don't really know. But anyways, I used to just spend $5 and get the one, and it would last me a month or so, and it, you know, is whatever. $5 a month is not bad. But these are to blend out your foundation and concealer and all that jazz. They, in my personal opinion, I think they do a much better job than a brush, a foundation brush, or your hands. When I was a kid, I thought you were supposed to like put foundation on your face and rub it in with your hands, because I feel like I saw people do that. I don't know. but it makes it streaky and cakey and dry looking, and just, if you want to put your foundation on that way, do you. Put it on that way. There's no reason you have to do things. People will tell you there's rules of makeup. I don't follow the rules of makeup. I do what I want to do. I do what works for me. You do what works for you. You're a different person. You have a different face shape. You have different skin type, texture, color. If something I say that I don't like or that doesn't work for me personally works for you, I would never tell you to stop doing it that way. I mean, unless you're doing something like unsafe, obviously, but just because I say I don't like foundation brushes and I don't like putting my foundation on with a hand, it doesn't mean that you can't do it that way. Do it how you want to do it. But my personal opinion, I think that on my skin type, which like I said is pretty dry, a damp, not soaking wet, but a damp beauty blender gives me the best, most flawless, smoothest finish. It's not streaky like with a brush or with your fingers. It really, and you don't like rub your foundation in, you tap it. You kind of beat this, like this is how you put it on. And tapping it in, it helps your skin kind of soak it up. It helps it set better, I think. I just think it blends everything together and melts everything together so nicely on your face. I will never, ever be a foundation brush person. Not that I'll never find nice ones that I like, but I can't see myself ever liking one more than a beauty blender. I think if you go to Walmart and spend $5 on a beauty blender and use it once, you're like, oh my god, I'm never going to stop using these, because that is what I did. But beauty blenders, awesome. So we're kind of starting to get away from actual makeup products at this point and a little bit more into tools. So on that note, along with your blender, you need brushes. So first is you need an angled brush like this, which this is from Glam and Beauty. That's their logo. This one, this brush, this brush, this brush, and one more that I'm missing that I think one of my kids lost. So 5 brushes all together came in this pack at Walmart, and it was around $5. So it was really not bad. These are the only brushes I've bought in the 6 months that I've been like doing full face makeup so far, and they're still holding up really well. They are really soft, they perform well, they do what I want them to do. I don't have any complaints. I would like to buy more. I need more so that I don't have to wash each brush in between colors, but regardless of that, quality is good. For as cheap as it is, it's good. Anyways, so as I was saying, you need a little angled brush. This is primarily for eyebrows. If you use an eyebrow pomade or a gel or a powder, anything other than a pencil basically, you're probably going to want to lay it down with an angled brush. That will just give you the most control. It's the most precise. It gives you the best shape. It just works the best. Also for winged eyeliner, if you use the little like gel eyeliners, which I want to try very soon, the little gel eyeliners you put on with this, get your wing, you're good. Okay, so next is some sort of little flat brush like this. This is a very like square kind of, there's rounded ones, but this is kind of a more square shaped little flat brush. Concealer brushes, pencil brushes, smudge brushes, they're all shaped pretty similarly. You want something like that, some kind of little flat brush. This is good for like detail work. Obviously not teeny tiny little pinpoint dots, but detail work. Like I use this for under my eye, for my lower lash line, to put things in my crease very specifically, for concealer, to go around the outlines of things. This is very useful. Little flat brush. Next you need like I call it a packing brush. I don't really know if that's what it's called. I feel like I've heard people say that, but it's kind of like a fluffy, like a rounded blending brush, but it's more dense. You need some kind of dense, round, dome-shaped brush. A smaller one, about, this isn't the right kind, but about this size. That is to pack on eyeshadow with. Yeah, it just, a denser brush, I find, for me at least, works better to like pack on pigment than like a fluffy blending brush, you know, because it doesn't pick up as much color as the more dense brush does. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense, but hopefully you get what I mean. That's the one that I'm missing, so I have been making do with, I have this little brush here. This is by Urban Decay. It has a flat side and a fluffier side. This came inside this Urban Decay palette. That is what I've been using, and it doesn't work quite as well because I'm pretty sure that's intended to be a blending brush, but some sort of more dense brush you need to pack on eyeshadow. On that note, a blending brush is what this one is that I showed you guys a second ago. This actually is from e.l.f. as well. I believe this was a $2 brush by e.l.f. This is what the end looks like. It's a really soft, fluffy, kind of dense, but not quite as dense as the one that I used to pack on color with, but a very soft, fluffy, rounded brush. This is what I use to blend out all of my eyeshadow. Just to give it that very like gradient, faded, I keep wanting to say the word natural, but there's nothing natural about this, but a very gradient look, you know what I mean, so you don't have harsh edges. So there's that. Then you need a brush for things on your face. That's a very vague term. You could use a kabuki brush. I don't really know a whole lot of other fluffy brush terms, but this is the one that I use. This is the biggest, most fluffiest brush that was in that pack from Glam Beauty again. This is what I use to do my contour, my highlight, my blush, that sort of thing. Something like this is really important, obviously, for those purposes. I love it. Contour and blush. This palette has been through hell. It's been in my makeup case, and I don't really know why it found its way there, but that's where it's lived for 6 months. This is the Blush and Bronzer Mini Palette. It's by Coastal Scents. This is what it looks like inside. This one has the two like contoury bronzy shades, and then one that I'm pretty sure is supposed to be a highlight, but that's my skin tone, so it doesn't work for me. And then two blushes. I usually use the pinker shade on me. I like that better on my skin tone. I was only using this shade for a while. That's why you can you're starting to see the ridges from the pans on this one, and you're not on this one yet. But I recently started mixing these two shades together. That's what I did today. I used the big fluffy brush to put it on with, and I blend it out really well. Like, you can definitely see, well, at least I hope you guys can on camera. In person, you can see the darkness that's right here, right underneath my cheekbones. But it's not super dark. That's my preference. I'm rambling. Anyways, you need contour. Blush, it just makes you look more awake, puts a little color in your cheeks, you know. I actually didn't put any blush on today. I wear blush most days. I think it makes a huge difference, but today I have like a really dramatic eye, and I wanted that to be a focal point, so I didn't put a ton of blush on. Well, I didn't put any blush on, but it's really important, and most days I do wear it. I just remembered that I forgot to tell you guys when I was talking about eyeliner. I only talked about liquid eyeliner for your wings. The other very important part of that is your waterline, the little part right there that's white on me today. My favorite ever eyeliner for your waterline, or pencil eyeliner in general, is the Maybelline Maybelline Lasting Drama waterproof gel pencil, and this is in white. This is $6 something, $6.50 something, $6.9, I don't know, between $6 and $7 at Walmart. I love these pencils. I usually have these in black and white. Get a black, get a white. They have colorful ones. I also have an emerald green one, because sometimes I do my brows green and I use this as a base sometimes, not always. Anyways, a waterproof, like a gel pencil, I think is the best thing to look for because it's creamy and smooth. Here, I'll show you it. It goes on so easily because it's so soft. It's not like a thick, hard, normal, like cheaper eyeshadow or eyeliner pencil that you have to gouge yourself out with to put on. Anyways, a gel pencil preferably is what's best eyeliner for your waterline. Next, I suppose, is lip products. One of my favorite parts. My personal favorite thing is liquid to matte lips. Lipstick that dries all the way and is transfer proof or kiss proof. That's what I have on now. It's the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick. It's my favorite lipstick ever. It's $20 a tube. It's pretty expensive. That's pretty typical though. For like a high-end liquid lipstick, they're all right around $20. They are so worth it. That's what I have on my lips right now. I've already been wearing it for 2 or 3 hours today, and there's nothing at all on the back of my hand after kissing it. I can eat with this. I can drink with this. This doesn't usually come off on straws when I drink things. If you eat, you have to touch it up, definitely. I mean, depending on what you're eating. There have been times I've eaten, you know, if you're eating something with a fork that's not very messy, that it's fine. But, you know, if you go smash into like a cheeseburger, you're gonna have to fix your lipstick when you're done, no matter what it is. But pretty much other than that, other than eating messy food, that's really the only time that I have to hardcore touch this lipstick up. Because of that, I think that it's so worth the price. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 because I have one more that's in a bag somewhere. But they're amazing. Regardless of what lip products you decide to use, what brand you use, or whether you use liquid or a stick, high-end or drugstore, whatever, I definitely recommend getting at least one good neutral shade. My neutrals are what I have on right now. It's this like dusty, rosy, pinkish nude color, and it's called Lolita. This is, like I said, is the Kat Von D. Another one is this color LA08. Is one of the Pop Feel ones that's very nude. It's very pretty. I'll put a picture of me with it on in so you can see what that color looks like. It's really pretty. That's one of the $1 ones. I recommend having some pink shades. This one is Melancholia by Kat Von D. Here's a picture of me wearing that one. Definitely like some reds are pretty classic. I have Nosferatu by Kat Von D. Vampira is a little bit darker. Here's pictures of me wearing some of those. And then, you know, some darker colors, definitely. I have, like I said, Exorcism by Kat Von D was the first one I got. I have Witches by Kat Von D. It's a black lipstick. It's the best lipstick in the whole wide world. If you're into black lipstick, I love that. And then, you know, your fun colors, which I only really have Requiem right now by Kat Von D. It is a like purplish, pinkish, mauvish color. It's really, really, really pretty. Here's that. It's gorgeous. I love it. I need to get more fun colors now that I have all my basics. But like I said, the main ones I would say you definitely, if you can only afford to go buy one expensive lipstick right now, get a neutral, get a nude color, some shade of nude, whether it's more like tan brown toned like this one, or it's more like of a rosy neutral color like what I have on now, or it's even a more pinker toned nude. If it's a nude, you can't go wrong with it. It'll go with everything for the most part. I would definitely say that's your safest choice. And then you can get dark colors. Even if you don't like black, you know, you can get a dark red, a dark purpley burgundy color. You get bright reds, you can get pinks, you can get whatever color lipstick you want. I want to go get some blues, and I have some purples that I like, and you can't go wrong with lipstick. As long as you balance the rest of your look out with it, you're good to go. But anyways, liquid matte lipsticks is what I recommend. And that's pretty much it, other than a couple more things. There's highlighter, which I know I've talked about, but I haven't given any recommendations yet. Right now, what I have on my cheeks is actually an eyeshadow. It's from this Pirates of the Caribbean Lorac palette. It's this shade right here called Shiver Me. It's a really pretty color. That's what I have on my eyelids as well. Yeah, for a while, what I was using for highlighter was actually this single color eyeshadow by Urban Decay. It's called Midnight Cowboy, and I have used it so much that that is what's left of it. Just a little ring around the outside of the pan that I have to like scratch at to get any off, and it's really sad. It's an eyeshadow. It's one that was given to me. It makes a wonderful highlight. Yeah, and then I have my baby, the Alchemist Holographic Palette by Kat Von D. Has these 4 highlights in it, highlighting shades, but there's a green, a blue, a purple, and a pink. And they're pretty pigmented for what they are, and you don't want like a colorful highlight every day. Like today, when I have a really neutral look on, I don't necessarily want to go all out with that. I have yet to go buy a nice highlighter, an actual highlighter. I've pretty much always used eyeshadows. That's the next thing on my list to go get. In my research, I have decided, I'm pretty sure the first thing I want to buy is like a Jeffree Star highlighter. You can also get, you know, I've heard great things about Becca. Tarte has really pretty highlights. Highlights are everywhere. Wet n Wild is a drugstore brand that I've heard makes awesome ones. I mean, I don't have a ton of advice on highlight or recommendations on highlight, just because I haven't even found one for myself that I absolutely adore yet. But I will say, any shimmery, like champagne colored or like kind of gold-ish toned, or like a wine tone, or a white-ish or a silverish tone, if that makes any sense. Any of those kind of shimmery eyeshadows that are a color that's complementary to your skin tone works as a highlighter. That's what I've been doing. That's what you can do if you would like, or you can go buy a highlighter. But if you're on a budget and you have to prioritize like me, eyeshadow. And then the last 2 things, I believe, well, 3 things, are, the first one is a setting powder. I use this Perfect Finish HD powder by e.l.f., which again I am almost out of. There's that. But it, you know, it's just a white compact. There's a mirror. And then underneath there's this little compartment with a little pad thingy that one of the girls I babysit got lipstick all over, but I don't use it anyway, so I don't really care. That's a decent, like, translucent powder, meaning it's not like, it looks white in the pan, but it doesn't really go on your face white. If you leave it on there to bake it, it looks white until you dust it off, but I set, like, my nose, my chin, my under eyes, my eyelids with it today before I put eyeshadow on, and none of that looks white. It's a translucent powder. It's kind of like an invisible, quote-unquote-ish, kind of, almost, powder. It's good. Next is setting spray. I, right now, have been using Hard Candy setting spray. The one I currently have is this Sheer Envy Luminous setting spray. This is for a dewy finish. Because I have very dry skin, I've been trying to find products that are for a dewy finish that'll kind of help counteract the dryness, especially because a lot of times when you put foundation on over top of dry skin, it can look even drier and flakier than it already is. So a dewy setting powder works well for that. The first time I used this, though, I didn't realize that it literally has shiny, here, I'll see if I can spray some close range on my arm and show you. It's like white, silvery, shiny. It's not going to show up on camera. Anyway, it has like actual color to it. I wouldn't recommend spraying this directly all over your whole face like I did the first time, because I had little shiny white specks, dots, all over my face, which was fine because it blended out great on my skin, but you can't really blend that away when it gets on your brows or, you know, your eyeliner or your eyeshadow or any of that mess. So what I would recommend, if you're going to use this particular one, is take your beauty blender, spray this on the beauty blender, and then pat it on your face. And then, if you don't need dewy finish, like if you have oily skin, I probably wouldn't use that. Or if you just don't want to mess with accidentally messing up your makeup and getting white specks on it, you can use also by Hard Candy. They have, it looks just like that, except it comes in a black bottle. It's just the 12-hour, it's the 12-hour power regular setting spray by Hard Candy. It's, I don't remember if they're $6 or $8, their setting sprays, but they're somewhere in there. They're pretty good. For a drugstore setting spray, they're pretty good. They do the job. What I would recommend, honestly, if you're like me and you want a dewy finish but you want that hold everywhere, put this on your beauty blender like I said, and then take that 12-hour power, spray that all over your whole face on top of that. My biggest thing that I would tell you is after you put your setting spray on your face, don't let it just sit there and dry or like fan it until it's dry. Take a beauty blender and pat it into your skin. I just think that settles it. It makes all the little tiny baby hairs on your face less noticeable. I just think it gives it a better finish, and I think it makes it hold up better. So there's that. The last thing I would recommend to you as a beginner is some sort of brush cleaner. I have this little $2 guy from e.l.f. I just spray it on my brushes. This is actually a sanitizing brush cleaner. So for $2, that's pretty awesome. You just want something to keep them clean. I mean, even if you use like baby wipes and wipe them off every day, that's not sanitary. If you're doing that, definitely don't use your brushes on other people. No judgment. I did that for a couple months because I was like, I didn't know they had makeup brush cleaner at Walmart. I don't know. Anyways, you really need to clean your brushes. Getting something like that, or even preferably something better that you could like soak them in and swirl them around in, would be awesome. Just something to keep them clean, keep the bacteria off of them. It's better for your health, it's better for your skin, it's better for your eyes, it's better for everything. It's just a good idea. Okay? Okay. Yeah, I think that's it as far as all of the like essential products that you need for a beginner to get started, and tools. I hope this was helpful. I hope it was really relatable. I hope I was entertaining somewhat. I know this is like an informational video. It's not really like a fun one, but hopefully it helps. Hopefully you liked this video. Hopefully you like me. If you liked it and you found it helpful, subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. Come back and watch more. I'm gonna start doing tutorials on specific things. I want to do eyebrows, I want to do winged eyeliner, I want to do contour highlighting, everything. And then I'm going to start doing looks. I'll show you guys how to do this. I want to show you so much, and I want to have fun, and I want to be friends, and yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing and commenting and anything that you've done or will do to support me. It means so much to me. It means the world to me. I love you for it. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.